Hivers, welcome to Honeybee Stamping Hive, where a creative buzz is always in the air. I am Tashana Lundy, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Florida, serving customers all over the United States. And today, we're going to be having fun with a new technique. I think it's called Bargello. It's, I think, a quilting technique, but I've seen some videos on how to do it with paper, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be using the Floral Delight Designer Series paper, along with the Darling Dinos Bundle. So that's the stamps and the dies, as well as the nested essential dies, okay? So before we get started on our project, of course, we have to go over the buzzworthy business of the day. We have our Fall for Twall paper pumpkin kit that's going to make 9 elegant cards. It coordinates with the Autumn Twall Suite collection that's in the new mini catalog, which I have in my hands. Yay! You guys will be able to order from that catalog September 3rd, okay? Cajun Craze is going to be the stamping spot for this kit. Circle of the Seasons add-on dies coordinates with July, August, and September paper pumpkin kits. And I have a link in the description box below for you to sign up for the paper pumpkin if you haven't already done so. Next, we have our Stampin' Rewards program, where you earn 10% on all orders $20 or more, excluding tax and shipping. You redeem your rewards on future orders, track and save rewards in your online Stampin' Up account, and rewards expire after 12 months of the earning date of each reward. Next, we have our In Color sale. The 2025 to 2027 In Color products are on sale, 15% off from August 5th to August 31st, 2025. Now, this is any item that contains any of these In Colors. The Cloud Cover, Timid Tiger, Secret Seed, Strawberry Slush, or Darling Duckling, okay? So you can see it's embellishments, ribbons, markers, blends, designer series paper kits. So, and we do have some new kits, so check out our online store, all right? Lastly, we have our mystery boxes. These are the medium flat rate USPS boxes that I have stuffed full of new and used retired Stampin' Up products. I'm asking just $35 for each box. Shipping is included. And if you're interested, you can email me at stampwithshawna@gmail.com. Okay, and that is all of our buzzworthy business for the day. So let's get started on our project because we got a lot of stuff to do. So first thing I'm gonna do is pull out our silicone craft sheet. I have some basic white here that is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, and we're going to be layering some cardstock, the In Colors. So we have Timid Tiger. I'm trying to go in the order. What did I put? Cloud Cover, and I don't have my cloud cover. Where's my cloud cover? Oh no, I done lost the piece. Oh, here it is. We have our Cloud Cover, and then we have our Darling Duckling, our Strawberry Slush, and then our Secret Sea. These are 1/2 inch strips of each color. I just made them long enough to fit the 4 3/4. Now, in the videos I've seen, some people use 7 pieces of cardstock or designer series paper because you don't have to do it with cardstock. Some people use 8, 10. It doesn't matter. It depends on how big you want your finished piece. You don't even have to cut them down to 1/2 inch. You can cut them to 1/4 inches. So it all depends on your preference, okay? So I'm going to just start gluing this onto our basic white. And for mine, on this particular project, I'm going to be leaving some space between each piece of cardstock. So we're going to glue all of these on. And I'm probably going to fast forward this because I'm just gluing the papers down to the cardstock down to the white. Okay, so I finished gluing all of our strips down to our basic white, and I'm going to sit this to the side to let it dry a little bit while we work on some other stuff because we have to come back to this and do some more things. So I'm going to show you, I have a card base here of thick basic white that is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And I've gone ahead and did our inside. It has Cloud Cover at 5 by 3 3/4, basic white 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, a strip of the designer series paper, which is 3/4 by 3 1/2, a strip of Timid Tiger that is 1/4 inch by 3 1/2. Then I punched out and stamped a die from the Darling Dinos, and stamped in here in some secret C that says, hope your birthday is dynamite. Okay, and onto this, we're gonna add some cloud cover. This is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And we're gonna add our designer series paper to that. This is 4 1/4 by 5. 5 1/4 by 4. I'm like, that does not sound right. So we're just gonna adhere these two together. I have a small little border around it. Then we're gonna adhere this to our card base. Put this on. And I like that it just has this tiny little border around everything. Okay. So before the video, I've done a lot of stamping and die cutting because the focus is on the technique. So I took a piece of basic white and stamped this little dottage right here in Timid Tiger and punched out some eggshells from the die set. And then I did stamped and colored all of my images that I'm going to be using. And I do not have the Stampin' Blends in the ink colors or the Stampin' Write markers. So what I did was took my ink pads and a block, put my block into the ink pad, and used my Wink of Stella glitter brush to color all of my images. So here I stamped on the designer series paper for the little rocks here, and this is designer series paper for the little bush. Everything else is stamped and colored. And I stamped our sentiment, roar means happy birthday in dinosaur. And this is all on you see I have it ready, one of the nested essential die cuts. Okay, and I also die cut out a couple of those stone dies, but we're going to use them as clouds. Okay, so hopefully our paper is ready to continue on. So I'm just going to cut all this overhang off. And then we'll cut these down into 1/4 inch strips. So let me show you. We get all this taken care of. Get my trimmer. And we're gonna just take this. Let me turn it a little bit so you guys can see. And we're gonna go to the 1/4 inch mark here. And we're just gonna cut like this. So I'm gonna cut 1/4 inch strips all the way till I get to the end of this, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so I have all my strips cut out. So now what I have is some painter's tape, or you can use any kind of temporary tape. I just have a little strip here that I'm gonna lay down. I'm folding the ends back so I can tape it to my surface. And we're gonna just start putting these strips on. So I'm gonna do a pattern where I do 4 going down gradually, stepping down gradually, and then 3 going back up. And you want to try to get them as tight, as close together as possible. So that is our 4 going down gradually. Then I'm going to do 3 going back up. And what I'm doing, I'm just looking at this one, like this one. I'm going to try to put it at the same height as that one there. They don't have to be exact. Now, I'm sure if you were quilting, you probably, you know, measure out some stuff and do all the things, but this is card making. So now we're going to go back down gradually 4. And we're going to do 3 going back up. And what I'm doing, I'm just looking at this one, like this one. I'm going to try to put it at the same height as that one there. They don't have to be exact. Now, I'm sure if you were quilting, you probably, you know, measure out some stuff and do all the things, but this is card making. So now we're going to go back down gradually 4. And you don't, this is just putting it on this tape. It's just going to make it easier to keep all the pieces together. One, two, three, four. I think I went down a little too far with that one, but that's okay. This design is very forgiving. So now we're going to go back up 3. Okay, so I have all of my pieces stuck to this tape. So now I'm just gonna flip it over and I'm gonna get some tearing tape and I'm gonna just run strips of tearing tape across the back of this. Oh, that's the end of that tearing tape. Let me get a different one. And you'll see why that was the end of that tearing tape. I have, I think 7 other cards. Because I don't know, I didn't understand the instructions at first and I cut too many strips. And so then I was like, I'll just practice. And then I end up making something out of all of the things. So now that is taped together. We're going to slowly, carefully pull off your temporary tape. And you can either discard it or reuse it. Then I'm going to put some more tearing tape right where that was. And this is just to hold it together. So now we're going to do a test run and see how big it is on our paper, which is perfect. Make sure it's, you know, it fits that, because if this is too long, you can cut one of these off. You can, you know, you can take some away. And I'll show you on my other samples that I've done how that's possible. Now, when you're gluing these down, you want to make sure, especially if you're leaving spaces like I did on this one, you want to make sure that you move fast so that if your spacing is not correct, you can push stuff, you know, move stuff around. That's why I wanted to use the liquid glue. Now I'm just putting liquid glue on the very ends where I didn't get any tearing tape to make sure everything sticks down. Okay, and I'm gonna put liquid glue on those ends there. So I'm probably gonna get glue all over my fingers. And I want the dark blue down. I'm gonna put this kind of up more than it is down, but centered from side to side. Okay, and then we're gonna take our image here and I'm gonna have it on dimensionals already, and I'm gonna remove all my dimensional backs so we can get this onto our card, because that is the Bargello technique. So we've completed our technique part of this video. Now we're just going to decorate the card. Okay, I think I got all my dimensionals off. And we're going to sit this about right there. I'm trying to see, make sure I got this straight. I'm going to sit that about right there. I'm going to get my scissors and trim the ends of this ribbon here. This is the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. So it comes with a couple of, like, I think crumb cake, very vanilla, basic black and white. So I just added that twine behind the balloons with a dimensional. And, oh, forgot this balloon is not down yet. So I need to remove the backing from this balloon, because this one was going off of the little rectangle, so I didn't glue it down to anything, because it's going to glue down right there. Then I have our clouds here. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this one. And this one, is going to go over here like that. Then we have another one that we're going to put up on some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're going to slide this one behind our dino, behind this little hat here. But we want to make sure our cloud is upright. Okay, and the last thing we're going to add are the 2025 to 2027 in color flat pearls. And for this one, we're going to use some cloud cover. So let me get my Take Your Pick tool. And we're going to add some of these around. Some of these around. Where do I want to put them? Let's put one there. Put one right here. And then we'll put one right there. Okay, and that is our card done. Isn't that super cute? Oh my goodness, you guys, I love this card. Okay, let me show you my other samples. So I made one just like this, except for I used Stylish Shapes dies and did a circle here, and I used the black twine, baker's twine, and then I put strawberry slush around. But everything else is basically the same. And I used the strawberry slush flat pearls. Okay, so that's 2. And let me show you my others. The others are a little fancier, I think. So this one, I used the, what is it called? I wrote it down. The Elements of Text stamps and the Inspiring Imperfection dies and stamp set. I used some copper embossing powder and Wink of Stella. And these strips were cut at 3/8 of an inch. So isn't that pretty? There is beauty in your history. Then the inside, I know you'll get through this and be stronger for it. So you can see it's Wink of Stella on just about everything. Okay, so next we have this one. And I used the Prairie Grass, is it called? Prairie Grass stamp set, the exposed brick embossing folder, and the Stylish Shapes dies, and a circle punch. So I embossed on it this time, and these are 1/4 of an inch. So yeah, that's the 1/4 of an inch. Oh, and I used some Designer Series paper on this one. This is from, what is that Designer Series paper? The Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper. I don't know if you could tell because the Secret C is really dark, but that's Designer Series paper back there. And that's the inside. Okay. Next, we used our Terrific Toadstool stamp set with the Mixed Floral stamp set, along with the Celebration Expressions, Memories, and More card pack. And that card back here with the little bubbles, that's the Memories and More. Look at this, is so pretty. And these butterflies came from the Mixed Florals. But everything else is Terrific Toadstool. Isn't that cute? You're magical. Okay. And then we did one using the arched, Everyday Arches, the Floral Impressions DSP. So it's the Everyday Arches stamp sets and dies. And on this one, I wanted this to look like a stained glass window. And this would be the sky, some flowers and grass. Isn't that cute? You are simply fantastic. Thanks so very much. I thought that was so pretty. Okay. Then this one we used the Happy Hibiscus bundle. So that's the stamp set, the dies, and the embossing folder, because it's a hybrid embossing folder. Oh, I'm sorry. These strips here on these two are the 1/8 inch. I cut them at 1/8 of an inch. This one is 1/2 an inch. Yeah, but I embossed the entire front of this one, including the white that I put it on. You make me smile. And then that's the inside. I thought these came out so cute. I was having much fun. And our last one, this one actually is the first one. I started backwards, but this is the first one that I made using this spooky Halloween stamp set, along with this Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper, the Shimmer Star Foam stickers, which are these here. Isn't that cute? And I colored this with the Wink Stella and some blends, Stampin' Blends. This is from the Designer Series paper, the little broom. But this is super cute. And added that on a little bit on the inside. This is where I was telling you you can cut it down. So I made one long piece with this 1/8 inch on this one. And I used a piece here, and on the inside. But this 1/8 inch, I made it just for that. I knew I wanted to do a 3x3 square. Okay, so that is all that I have to share today. Again, here's our card that we made today. That's it. That's all. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I want to thank you for buzzing by the Hive today. Until next time, buzz you later. Bye.